India recently played host to these icons of the past that are some of the most recognizable furniture designs all over the world. These are vintage works of Charles and Ray Eames, an American designer couple who created these now universal chairs way back in the 1940s to 60s. They pioneered modern yet efficient seating designs that have become immortal over the years. The Eames Foundation preserves the works of Charles and Ray Eames, and their grandson Eames Dimitrios is touring the world to share the Eames' design philosophies with design lovers through a special exhibit of the famous couple's 50 vintage furniture pieces.
One of the things that they said is that the role of the designer is basically that of a good host, anticipating the needs of the guest. And it's really a beautiful idea because I think that in every culture there's this concept of the host being responsible to the guest. And I know I experience that here when I come to India. But if you put that in your design practice and you make your objects, like these chairs or some of the other things that they design from that standpoint of being a good host, it really is a very beautiful, beautiful way to live.
Even before the term ergonomics became a part of the furniture vocabulary, Charles and Ray Eames were designing chairs that addressed the problem of healthy seating, chairs that would work in your office or home. In their search for a shape that would sit well, they came up with the idea of molding plywood. And then the rest is history. Time magazine has called this seat here the chair of the 20th century because this molded plywood seat designed by Charles and Ray Eames marks the birth of the now iconic single shell chairs which have been hugely imitated around the world. The molded chair changed the face of furniture design, and soon their next upgrade, the single shell molded chair, became the most universal seating design in the world.
Chair that most people think of when they think of Eames chair is the Eames lounge chair and ottoman, and that's a very luxurious piece. It's been in a lot of cartoons. It's been in it was in that TV show Frasier that traveled around the world. But basically, it's a very iconic chair. Then there's this aluminum group chair, which is used very much in business. And one of the great things about all their designs is that, you said these chairs have been imitated. Well, it's kind of easy to make a chair that looks like an Eames chair, but it's very hard to make a chair that is an Eames chair.
And then there are other icons like the Eames chaise lounge, a narrow office couch they created for a Hollywood director. And then the Eames executive chair that was first created for the Time Life offices in the 1960s. But just how did Charles and Ray Eames' utilitarian furniture become so iconic over the decades?
Somebody said to Charles, "How do you choose between function and beauty?" He said, "I would have to choose, it's like choosing between my head and my heart." In other words, they never gave up on either one of them. And as Ray said, what works good is better than what looks good, because what looks good can change, but what works good will always work. So when you look at these chairs, they're very beautiful, but they are also very practical as well. And so when you ask how did they become iconic, they became iconic by being good solutions to the problem of sitting.
Charles and Ray Eames' seating designs remain timeless and relevant country to country because ultimately they're not just design ideas, but life ideas. With camera person AJ Joseph, Vasudha Sharma, NDTV.